Hello dear friends, Scobar Chess is continuing the coverage of the candidates match using commentary by Sergei Shipov. Kamsky has 3 attempts as white to try to win back the point. Of course it's possible to win as black, but the main focus will be on white. It's very important to win the opening duel. The events of the third game offer some optimism in that sense. We found out that Topalov can be surprised in the early stage. In the right Lopez, in game number 4, Black first stepped away, so to say, from the path of the second game of the match and played a6. In the game that I just mentioned, we saw knight f6. And then he didn't want to discuss the rest of the game and Marshall's counterattack with d6. The beginning to Marshall is castling. As a result, on the board we see the classic closed right Lopez. And Topalov chose the Zaitsev variation. A responsibility-bearing move. White is closing the center with the clear plans to move most of the fight to one of the sides. Having an advantage in space, it's possible to quickly and massively move the pieces into the heart of the pressure, no matter where it is. The battle is forming in the typical for the closed right Lopez way, which is sometimes called the Spanish torture during the opening. For now, Kamsky is holding on very solidly. He's playing faster than his menacing opponent. A novelty. It would make sense to give the edge to Kamsky in the opening duel. He played faster, was the first to come up with a novelty, and most importantly, first his extremely aggressive opponent to play in the very unpleasant, for him, manner of play. Looks like Gata is planning to be very aggressive. He's playing quickly and is very pushy. His last decision could be explained in the following way. Since Black is preparing for the battle on the queen's side, it's time to check up on him on the king's side. Veselin is obviously uncomfortable if he's making moves like that. After making the move, Gata started walking up and down the stage. Veselin grasped his hand between his hands and started looking for a way to defend. Here Black is still somewhat breathing, but that's not a fact that it will be a free and infinite breath of fresh air. The boa knows his job. The fighters in white are getting closer and closer to their goal. For now, Kamsky is acting correctly and practically. On the one hand, he's coming up with threats, problems for the opponent, and on the other, he's not forcing the game, keeping the manner of the battle the most difficult. That's the most unpleasant strategy for the defending side. With the last move, White fixated the pawn d6 on that square and made Black notice its weakness. Gata started walking again. He earned it. For the decisive strengthening of the attack, White doesn't have enough pieces. Look at the rook on a1. Its inactivity could save Black. A beautiful plan. Gata was obviously thinking about it, the same thing, was looking for a way to develop the queen's side. With that goal in mind, he's sacrificing the pawn on c3. Of course, if Black doesn't take it, then White will move the bishop to b2 or a3, and then the damned rook a1 will make quite an entrance to the game. If in nothing else, no one ever accused Topalov for lack of courage. The bishop is coming out to the lookout position. White is going through with his plan in the center and on the queen's side, but is always aiming at the black king. That's a positional achievement for Kamsky. The black knight is cut off from the battle for the center. From now on, the square d5 will be controlled completely by White. Besides that, Black doesn't have a chance to activate the rooks down the c vertical. Obvious play out of tune. Black's sharp move, in character for the general, really weakens his queen's side. White has taken the attention of the pawn a6. The king is moving away from the attack, but he is leaving the stick patient on g6 without any care. Either way, Black's hospital is already full. Out of 7 pawns, 4 are extremely bad. Getting out of prison at any cost. The rescue of the lame horse ended up being too costly. White won back the pawn, keeping a solid positional pressure. Veselin is holding on any way he can. He can only be saved by a miracle now. Kamsky's idea is clear: to get to the time control without any mistakes and keep the opponent on the defense. A crucial decision made on move 40. On the other hand, if Gade decided to take the pawn d6, the weakness of the 7th row must be beneficial for him. The control is over, and so White has the right to take the pawn d6 with the bishop. Quickly and decisively played. The doubts are left behind. A mistake. White's advantage is growing. White got a pretty good simplification of the game. He is keeping the extra pawn and some initiative. White's advantage has to be enough for a win. Then again, the battle is not finished yet. The time is as follows. Kamsky has 30 minutes left, Topalov has 41. The next time control is on move 60, after which the opponents will each get 15 more minutes and Fischer's add-on of 30 seconds per move. Not a bad addition to the pension. Veselin is already clearly hitting the clock. He's got no other chance. Later, the realization of the advantage wasn't always perfect and made some fans of the American worry, but the game finally got to the logical ending. Let me just show you the last few moves. What is meant to happen will happen. And here Black resigned. If we don't count the unnerving ending, we could say a beautiful win by Kamsky. He led it in his special positional style, slowly but surely overplaying the opponent. Gade came away with a monstrous counter blow. He tied the score at 2-2 and guaranteed himself a wonderful mood for the day off. Again, Grandmaster Shipov was commenting this grandiose game for you, dear friends. Have a good day.